I hope he's careful with traffic.
Hello, welcome to our movie club. Today we are going to discuss a movie, Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot. So it's interesting, we choose it by accident, right, teacher Lee? So just because I suppose you were thinking about this alphabet, right?
Yeah.
My internet is still bad.
You know, it is the type of film that Sergey likes, I'm sure.
Sergey is here.
Okay. So, but Leila, do you know what does it mean? Whiskey, Tango, Foxtrot,
Of
Alpha,
course.
Bravo. What it is? What is
Foxtrot is a kind of rhythmic dance, I guess.
it? Okay.
And tango too.
Yeah.
Tango
This doesn't mean whiskey, tango, or foxtrot, Leila.
Okay, my dear teacher Lee, will you please tell me?
If you were in my Telegram group, you'd know exactly what this means.
Of course, but you don't know that I have worked a lot this month, and also my mommy is at hospital.
Okay. We have a phonetic alphabet that we use on the radio for speaking. On the radio, if I want to say WTF, I would say whiskey, tango, foxtrot. Every letter has its own spoken name word.
Okay.
So whiskey, tango, foxtrot is the spoken international phonetic alphabet for WTF.
Okay.
So the name of the movie is really WTF, but it's about the military, and the military use the spoken international phonetic alphabet. So in military talk, WTF would be whiskey, tango, foxtrot.
Wow.
Okay?
Thank you.
So the name of the movie is WTF, and you know what that means, right?
Yep.
Okay. And the military says that a lot.
It's interesting, teacher Lee, you know. Wow.
Okay.
Do you understand why military use?
Ivan.
Yeah.
You're cutting out, Ivan.
Yeah. Do you know military needs this long words for one letter? Yeah.
We don't write it. We only speak it that way.
Yeah. Because whiskey stands for W, tango for T, and foxtrot for F.
Right.
When you write it, it's not a problem, WTF. But when you speak it on the radio, boom, you can't hear WTF very clearly. So by saying words on the radio, you're less likely to misunderstand a letter.
It's really interesting.
Because C, D, E, G, T, boom, 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 E. What letter did you say?
Yes.
So this is for noisy environments. You use this. Yeah.
Besides, you have several accents and they pronounce the letters differently.
Yeah, Z and Z. But if you say Zulu, both of them understand. Yeah.
Sergey, could you please help us? What is your middle name?
What's my middle name?
Yeah.
Alexeyevich.
So I cannot hear well.
Alexeyevich.
Sorry. What is the first letter?
A.
It's Alpha, Sergey.
Yeah.
What is the second one?
L. Labrador.
Labrador. Right? But you know, when you use Labrador, it's because you probably don't know this military code, right? But if you knew, you use the same word again and again, and it will be easy to understand for everyone, right?
Yep. L is Lima.
Lima.
Yeah. If you say Lima, everyone knows you mean L. If you say Labrador, people think you're talking about dogs. Okay, that's the difference.
Tango, Lima, Echo, Echo is Teacher Lee.
TLee, yeah.
Okay.
Teacher Lee would be more letters. Yeah.
Tango, Lima, Echo, Echo.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
They
Nice.
use this in
Okay,
TV
sorry
and movies a
for-
lot.
I see.
Sorry. Okay.
Sergey, so sorry for this, but I just wanted to make an example, you know, real life example when it's useful. I'm very sorry. I don't know what to do with my internet. I see that the picture is frozen.
Should do it. Mhm.
Okay. So I'll go ahead and lead, Yvonne, and you follow along, okay?
Okay. Teacher
Oh, we
Lee.
lost him. He's gonna come out and come back in. So what about number one? Who wants to take number one? Any volunteers?
I think when Kim was was pedaling his bicycle, a static bicycle, on the gym. She was on the gym and realized that her life was bored and he was in her 40s and all. He had some 40s crisis, a sort of 40 crisis. She had a boyfriend, but I think she wanted to do something, you know, a change.
She wanted to leave her comfort zone. Okay.
I have to leave my comfort zone too.
Exactly.
But I'm surprised that she didn't realize that when you have a partner, doing this sort of change involves losing your partner. Nowadays, you are out apart from your partner a few months, you are prone to lose it.
Gerard, if you do love your partner, I don't
Yes.
agree with you.
But the time is killer. It's a couple's killer, the time.
Yeah, when
No,
you're
3 months.
when you're absent for a long time, someone's gonna cheat. It's a fact of life.
Yeah, but it's not only about cheating, right? It's also about kind of, if my wife decided to move, let's say, to New Zealand for the next 3 years, I would expect she would discuss it with me before, right?
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
It's not like, you know, honey, I'm getting kids and you will not see them for 3 years, for the next 3 years.
Yeah, agreed. I didn't like her as a main character. I mean, as a person, I didn't like the main character at all. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't like her at
She's
all.
kind of, so she's not very important on her job, is it right? She's just a kind of ordinary reporter, so making some dialogues, and she understands that her life is kind of miserable, right? Yeah.
Yep. Her work was mediocre.
Mediocre. Yeah.
Not
nice
recognized. Not recognized for being, you know, good work. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Sergey, could you help us with the second one?
How did Kim struggle to adapt to the customs and culture in Afghanistan? What were some of the challenges she faced? Oh, it's Afghanistan. It's a country is not full of women, in my opinion. In my culture, in my country, we know about Afghanistan more than Europe. But on the other hand, American people know about Afghanistan too more because we have 2 wars in Afghanistan. And as I know, the journalist, women journalist in Afghanistan, it's a person with more attention from some people in Afghanistan because women in Afghanistan were women's dress.
Hijab. Okay.
Not hijab, I don't know how it's called. It's,
Whale.
cover her faces and body.
Yeah, whales we call it.
Yeah, I would say that everything what is bad towards women in Afghanistan, it's bring to absolute, right? So they're the best in humiliation women in the world, I would say.
Is the worst nightmare for feminists.
Yeah. Yeah, I think in English we call the hijab the head cover.
Mhm.
The whole body I think we call it a burqa.
Yes, burqa.
Yeah.
Burqa.
Actually, what about whale? V-E-I-L.
Oh, that's just the face.
Okay, all right.
Veil is face only. Yeah.
Okay.
The wedding veil, right? A bride wears a wedding veil, right?
Okay.
Just over the face. Yeah.
Sergey, but I do think the second question is not about only Afghan traditions, right? So it's a little bit about all this clique, all this group of military.
Can you imagine? And you live in New York, with a silent city. You connect with other knowledge people, and you have gym, some meetings, and suddenly for you move to the other place, not other place like Paris and London and Berlin. You move to the hell. And you can't imagine before visit this Afghanistan how people live this. Includes people of Afghanistan, includes the people from US who as soldiers in US. And if you remember, the first interview of her was with a guy who told about his life, that he didn't put the patrons in his arms because why not? And can't understand. And when I watch this moment, I can't understand how she will believe in here, because when he met her colleague, I don't remember her name, Tanya. Tanya discussed with her about men. I want to fuck your colleagues, but do you agree or not? But what do you tell? But it's abnormal. It's I can't understand them, because we could see other life without rules from New York and US and without your tradition, without some relationships, and you could small group where you can connection only.
Yeah, so it was my point. So she did not move to Afghanistan, right? She moved to some kind of military base where all this media located, right? All these guys located. So nobody asked her to move to wear burqa or something, right? Nobody treat her like she is going to cook for everyone now or something like this. She still was a kind of American lady, right? Just in another country.
Yeah. Remember the discussion about the scales of lady. In US, you would have only 5 or 6 points among 10. Here, you have 9 or 10 points because in your Afghanistan. Thank you very much. But it was funny for me because we don't have a lot of ladies for US people.
Right. She was the second lady on this base, right? So her grade, right, was kind of higher because of this. Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any challenges? Second part of the question: what were some of the challenges she faced?
Challenges. Yeah, you could live without comfort, without your usual part, and you have to go to this mountain with Marine people, with Marine soldiers. Sometimes you have problem with with the blood, and you have to make a cinema about it, and you meet some Afghanistan men who hate you. But I think it's Afghanistan. It's not dreams country, I think.
But nobody will pay you extra, right? If you want to move to London and make reports here.
Yeah, we have 2 resorts in Afghanistan. Could you go to there? I don't know. Not.
There at one point she attended a gathering of men, and they almost attacked her for it, and they had to rescue her and put her inside the car quickly. In another case, the guy that was going to become Attorney General, Ali, I think his name was, when he first met her, he kept talking to the man. She kept talking to him, and he kept talking to the man. He kind of ignored her as a woman, and he kept talking directly to the man. And finally, he acknowledged her existence by speaking directly to her. You know, everybody, all the men wanted to have sex with her. She was just a sex object over there. Nobody took her seriously. She's just a piece of female meat, if you will. So those are, you know, she felt sorry for the little boys begging on the street, but they were scammers. So, you know, she got tricked by little scammers, and, you know, she at night there's nothing to do. So she just drank and passed out. So
TLee, can I say what kind of a country is Afghanistan? I know a bit, but is drinking legal?
No, it's not legal. They will kill you if they find you drinking. But
remember,
Leila, it was on the military base, so it was kind of another jurisdiction.
Yeah, remember she hung out with military people and American expats, foreign expats, British and American. So they drank privately in their own, or maybe maybe a foreign nightclub on the base, wherever they went to dance. Yeah. I think Muslims can't drink alcohol, right?
Yep.
No. Absolutely forbidden.
Why?
But
you're a Muslim, Leila, aren't you?
Well, no.
I
know
my is expert.
They always drink.
Okay. Turkey's a little different. Yeah.
No, in Turkey, really many people drink beer and alcohol, but actually for Islam people, it's prohibited, like strongly, you know, so it's not, there is no exclusion, so you just cannot. And so in some countries like Afghanistan or Pakistan, you will face a strong punishment if in case if you just have alcohol. It's not doesn't matter drink you or not. If you have it, you will be punished.
Muslims aren't allowed to have fun, Leila.
Well, some of them are. They are allowed to have 4 wives, the wealthy ones.
Yeah.
But I always saw, Gerard, that 5 is for suffering, not for fun.
Yeah. And concubines.
Yeah.
Sergey, please.
Yes, my colleague went to Iran. Iran is a Muslim country, and he told me that the alcohol is prohibited in this country. On the other hand, he informed me that all men smoked marijuana and hookah because, in my opinion, people can't live without relaxing.
Sergey, I've got a lot of Iranian friends, Sergey. They told me they had parties at their houses and they drink and drink. And when they come to Turkey, they drink a lot.
Iranian.
Yep, Iranian friends.
Yes, because they moved from Iran.
Yeah, they can't do it. They can't do it in Iran, so they have to do it in Turkey.
Yes, teacher, it is really, really, interesting. But they drink more and more, you can't believe it.
I can believe it because their life is miserable. I mean, Muslims are not allowed to have fun. They can't do anything.
Yes, Sergey.
Near Russia, we have the small country, Finland. You know about Finland?
Oh, yeah.
And in Finland, alcohol is prohibited. But near the border in Finland, we have small city, Viborg, old city. And the Finland have weekend tours, bus tours from the Finland. They moved from Finland and they drank a lot, abnormal, and they drank and they after this some people moved the bodies from the restaurants and they put the bus went to Finland because
Yes.
people
Sergey, you're right. I visited Viborg once and I talked with local people. Local people are not happy about these bus tours. So it's just a huge trouble for them. Yeah. But Sergey, if I'm right,
drinking alcohol, Ivan, must be free. If the teacher wants to drink, yes. If not, okay. So I don't understand this rule.
It's illegal in a lot of countries. We even in the US, we have a few counties, a few small areas of some states that are called dry counties. That means it's illegal to buy or sell alcohol. We've even got that in a few small counties in the US. Alcohol is illegal in some areas.
Yeah, but they use drugs then, teacher Lee. I don't understand this conflict, Drugs is illegal.
Well, it's a really complicated question. Let's not go there. Some people, they say that alcohol, in some senses, it's more dangerous than some drugs, because alcohol is socially accepted and people got mad after it and there are a lot of crimes. So they say there are less crimes provoked by marijuana than by alcohol or something like this. So it's a hard topic. But I like it that you brought the question about, this legal and illegal things. So sometimes it's interesting to know that, that on military base or on embassy that located in different country, the law is different.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So for instance, London embassy in Pakistan, right? They live by English law. They don't care about,
So as soon as you enter the embassy, you are free.
Yeah, you're free. You are under another jurisdiction. All
right.
Yeah, you're on foreign property when you're in someone's embassy.
Okay.
Yeah, their country owns that land. Yeah.
And someone told me a funny story, that some African country, I don't remember which one, some small country, they opened a few embassies inside the Iran. So, and what the reason was? It was a business because they made a kind of night party clubs here, on own territory.
Oh boy!
Ivan, why night? Why night? I have one hypothesis because the good sleep at night, and he didn't see some Muslim made during the night.
Okay, let's go further. So further, numbers 3. Gerard, could you help us with numbers 3? Kim's job.
Kim's job as a war correspondent was very dangerous. What were some of the dangerous situations she found herself in? How did she navigate them? Okay, especially the one that she wanted to record, you know, this shooting to the televisions. But she went against the advice of her guide, her Akfan guide. She didn't realize that this meeting was only for men. So it was very, very dangerous. Besides, she was wearing a burqa, which was very good. But women weren't allowed to be there, and they realized about the camera, the hidden camera. So they wanted to attack her, and they escaped. Got another one.
Yeah, and it's interesting, you know, that she's a reporter from USA, right? And it's 2016 or something like this, you know. And my camera today looks like this, you know. This is small device, but her camera was like, you know, like from all days of television, you know. So impossible to make a hidden kind of
yeah.
Well,
yeah.
all the same professional cameras are bigger than, you know, small cameras. Like another situation. Which one? When she was drunk and took a taxi, and taxi sent her to the wrong address. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And her friend by chance found her. So it was a very dangerous situation. When a woman, as a lone woman on the street at night.
Okay,
Like being,
can I interrupt you for a second? I want to ask Leila, why she did not call taxi when she got lost?
I couldn't hear you. That was the interruption. Will you please repeat?
Yeah. Leila, why she did not call taxi when she got lost?
I didn't watch the film, but I think she has her pride.
No, she didn't have a while.
Her life was in danger. Her life was in danger. She probably couldn't speak the language.
And she didn't have a mobile.
I think there is no taxi in Kabul or something. So taxi in Kabul, you know, you have 2 jeeps with armed guards, and then you go somewhere.
Yeah, that's another thing too. She was an embedded reporter, so she was able to cope with the different culture because she had a guard to protect her, and she had a local guy that knew the language that took her everywhere. She had a chauffeur that spoke the language. So she was actually very protected in that culture shock. So that kind of insulated her from a lot of the hardship that she would otherwise have suffered.
Okay, then why she was alone this time?
Someone dropped her off at the wrong address and left her there. And when she got out, and she got out before she realized it wasn't the right address. So after the guy drove away, she said, "Whoa, this is the wrong address." So now she's in a strange part of town at night, alone, female, maybe no hijab.
Yeah, no hijab.
You know, and she was scared to death. Oh my God, you know, I could be killed in the next 5 minutes. Luckily, a car drove by immediately, and it was her friends, and they found her by accident. Come on. What are the odds of that?
In real life, I think it will be the end of the story, right? This night is the end of the story.
Yeah.
You know, actually, I have a friend from Afghanistan, and he's a very educated guy. He works for United Nations and something. And sometimes we talk about the situation. And once I asked him, so how should I say hello in Afghani for local people if I go to the Afghanistan? And he said me, it doesn't matter. I said, why? He told me, you're a white big guy, so you either Russian or American. If you Russian or American, they will kidnap you, whatever you talk. And
there was a funny part in the movie, Layla. There was a black soldier.
Yeah.
And the black soldier, they went to a village, and the women, nobody could speak English, and they saw the black soldier, and they said, they asked the soldiers, "Are you Americans or Russians?" And they couldn't understand the English. So the one woman said to the other women, "Wow, look, the Russians are black now." They thought they were all Russians. They couldn't recognize a Russian from an American.
We have very few black Russians, as far as I know. So it will be atypical. Yeah.
That was the humor of it. Yeah. Russians are black now.
Yeah, actually, there are some humor in this movie. It's a kind of special style, I would say. It's not kind of jokes itself, but some kind of situations. But there are some. Yeah. Okay. Did you forget that in the very beginning, on the first day, she was ambushed with these cars, right? It was an ambush, and she started to shoot the battle in the beginning.
She was brave. I'll give her that. She was brave in battle. Yeah.
Yeah, but usually we say, we have a saying, and we say that the brave guy is an unexperienced guy. So when you did not know what is this, you are brave.
Reckless.
Yeah, she's lucky she didn't get shot, just running out there with no armor, no protection, bullets going around. She's got her face in the camera, not even looking at the danger all around her. Dumb, yeah. But the general praised her. The general praised her, yeah.
But do you remember, General, he wanted kind of honor, right? He was unhappy about the situation that nobody talks about their job. So, and it was a good media coverage, right? Footage. So he was happy about it, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are ready for the next question, but Leila, you probably cannot answer it, right? Number 4.
Sure, I can't.
Sergey, could you help us with number 4?
Kim's relationships with the other journalist went through some ups and downs. Discussed with her relationships evolved with different characters like Tanya, Nick, and Ali. It's a start in the movie.
Who's Tanya? Let's start with this. Who's Tanya?
Tanya is her colleague from other department, maybe from other TV company. I didn't understand in the start of the movie, but she is from America, and she lived in one base, and she had the similar contacts and the similar relationships, because as I understand, in Kabul, we didn't have a lot of nightclubs for white people and from the West. That's why all people from the West, from the US, from the Europe, and you try to connect with them. And they, in my opinion, she builds good relationships with the other people from Europe, and she had some sex with a guy from Scotland, and she connected with Tanya good, and Tanya sometimes got the advices about Kabul lives, and I think it's a good point for her. And she went deeper and deeper in the Kabul life, and she started to understand this life.
Do you think it was kind of good for her, like for a human being? So what was her kind of direction? Was he getting a better person or a worse person because of all this?
I think during this movie, we could see the transformation of the lady mind, because in Kabul, we didn't have a lot of rules, like in US, like in Europe, because you have to arms, you have to drugs, you have to sign connection, and it would sound strange, but in Kabul, US people feel more freedom, more opportunities, because they didn't have some rules like in US. That's why I think, in my opinion, she tried to be better and better, because she tried to make good videos, good interviews with controversial persons in Afghanistan. I think it's a good point for her.
So, but you're talking about career, right? So her career improved a lot because of this Kabul, I don't know how to call it, business trip, right? But what about her, like a human, right? So can we say that she developed or abroad she regressed, you know, so she become a worse person or better person because of all this?
There's a controversial question because we have two parts of her. The career play was good because she had a lot of interview with some leaders of Taliban, with minister. But if we are talking about her private life and her mind, it was worse because she lost her boy, and she she had some relationships with other guy, and she tried something, but it's in my opinion she was a usual people.
Usual person, yeah. But you know, I kind of look opposite on this. You know, I think that when you leave your comfort zone and put yourself in some kind of extreme, or even not even an extreme, when you put yourself in different position, you learn something from this. You learn even about yourself, you know, how would you behave in some situations and something like this. So I actually think that she became a better person. I mean, better understanding of her. So she now clearly understands more about what she wants. So that's what I think. So, yeah, TLee?
A jerk and an asshole know what they want better, but that doesn't make him a nice person. To me, she became worse because she wanted people to do favors for her. She wanted people to take risks for her, but she herself wasn't willing to do favors for other people. Ali, the attorney general guy, a high politician, right? A high level politician. She wanted him to do things for her all the time. And he wanted her, one thing from her, he wanted to have sex with her. And she said, no, I want you to do something for me, but I don't want to do anything for you. To me, she was a jerk. She wanted other people to risk their lives for her, but she didn't want to inconvenience herself. You know, I didn't like that about her.
So she manipulated all the people around her to get things done, right?
Exactly.
But I think that, you know, we can blame her for this, but it's the only thing she had, right? She had no power, no nothing. So the only thing she can do, or you think something else?
If she had made love to Ali one time, he would have done anything she wanted. Instead, when she wanted something from him and she wouldn't pay him for it with sex, she blackmailed him.
Yeah.
So here you're blackmailing someone who's a high-level politician to get one favor from you, that if you just made love to the guy, she made love to other people. She didn't want to make love to this one guy, and he liked her a lot. He treated her with respect, treated her well. She wouldn't do one favor for him. So when he said no, she blackmailed him.
Yeah.
To me, that was really, really uncalled for that guy, because he was polite to her. He was respectful. He was a high-level person that could help her many times, but now she burned that bridge. Once she blackmailed him, I'm surprised he didn't have her killed in the dark of night. Really.
Actually, what I like it about the movie it's the way how Afghani people talked to her. So I like this part, some kind of humor in such dialogue. So she said, in American culture, we would get to the matter 5 minutes ago, right? Because they were very indirect, right? They were speaking with some kind of examples and parallels, but not a direct questions and answers. And I remember my friend from Afghanistan, he was like this. He never gets to the deal exactly. Before, we talked for 15 minutes about your children and wife and everything and the weather. So it's a part of culture, but it's interesting.
Another case where she's kind of a bad person. Mm-hmm. Remember that her guide was Fahim, right? So yep. when she went into dangerous situations, she forced him to go with her into those dangerous situations. And when he was single, he didn't mind that. But after he got married and had children, she still wanted him to risk his life to go into dangerous situations with her. And he said, no, I don't want to work with you anymore. You're putting me in danger for your glory. And I've got a wife and kids now. No, and she didn't care about him. She didn't care that she was putting him in danger and he now had a family to worry about. So again, she was a bad person to me.
Mm-hmm. And speaking about this guy, he was kind of smart, her guide, right? And he told her, I remember that she's like a junkie now, right? She is on this dopamine because of this news honor, and she will go downstairs, right, for to the bottom, right?
Yep.
News junkie, nice. Gerard, could you please take next one, number 5?
Number 5. The movie highlights some of the difficulties work correspondents face in balancing their demanding jobs with their personal lives. How did this play out for Kim? Did she struggle with the balance? Yes, at the beginning we can see that she wants to keep her relationship with her boyfriend, but eventually he cheats on her. But I think it's normal because she was supposed to stay in Afghanistan for 3 months, and she stayed for a few years, 3 years, I think, altogether. But after 1 year or so, we saw that she was a good girl while doing an internet conference. But before she was supposed to go to see him, and she changed her plans to do some interview. So his boyfriend wasn't her priority, and that's not what happened. Is that normal? I think she hasn't the right to complain about that.
Yeah, and I remember we had a triangle, right? Love triangle, how we call it. It was some guy, Australian guy, right? A macho guy and Scottish guy, right?
Scottish, I think. Yeah. Said he was Scottish anyway.
Yes.
What was his name?
From Glasgow. From Glasgow.
Yeah, I can't remember his name now.
What about this Scottish guy? Was he a good person?
I am Mac.
Oh, Ian. Yeah, Ian.
McKelpie.
Yeah, so that's the only one she made love to. She liked him.
Ian, yeah. And what about him? Was he a good guy?
Yes, I think so. First, Tanya told him that he was a wonker, an asshole. Like that wanted to have sex, without no feelings and nothing, Tanya didn't like him. But eventually Kim liked him and even rescued him from a kidnapping. She blackmailed the general attorney. I like this moment. He was dancing, looked like drunk.
So she and Ian initially were, kind of like strangers or acquaintances. And then she made love to him and they kind of became not really lovers, but close friends. And then he betrayed her by trying to get this news scoop without telling her, and he got caught and kidnapped. So he eventually betrayed her professionally. So that kind of, I think, ended her relationship with him.
But she rescued him, right? She again manipulated people to get him rescued.
Yeah, she blackmailed a high-level person to rescue this guy that betrayed her. I didn't understand that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the next one. I don't know. Should we discuss political life in Afghanistan? I don't think we are experts, but what I know for the last 50 years. So for the last 50 years, there are a big group that called themselves Taliban, and it's a kind of a evil force, right? So they are very strong religious, they are armed, and they attend to terrorists, actually, yes, essentially wrote. And for the last 50 years, there are many kind of different governments made on this territory that try to protect people from Taliban, and some kind of external force help them, right? So Americans, Russians, everyone, but eventually all fail, right? So it's always a failed territory.
Do you remember in the 70s, the Americans helped the Taliban to fight against the Russians? And eventually that bounced back, to the Americans, because, the bombing, the planes that brought down the towers, the World Trade Center, was from the Taliban, from Bin Laden and company.
In the movie, they mentioned President Karzai just one time.
Probably no political influence, right, from him. So
he didn't do much for the country, apparently.
Poor people who live there, I feel sorry for them, right? So to be in such a place, it's like a lost the lottery,
Oh man,
immediately.
Terrible.
And I remember that for Soviet Union it was a hard war, because as far as I understood, so Soviet forces, they don't want to to make it a full-scale war. They wanted to make it kind of small with Taliban, but they never can win, like to make it to the end. And it was endless war. So we lost any honor here. And also they tried to build new cities. Have you heard about this? They started to they said it's a war not with arms, but it's a war for minds. And Russian forces, they start build cities for Afghani people, so to win their hearts. It worked a little bit, but not too much. So they abandoned this program.
Oh, yeah, we didn't do well there either. It was a mess.
It's a Mission Impossible mission.
Yeah. Mission Impossible. Yeah.
Okay, we discussed Fahim, I think. We discussed different groups. Okay, so by the end of the movie, how do you think Kim's experience in Afghanistan changed her? I think we discussed this as well, right? So, So we're actually out of the questions.
At the end of the movie, it ended with a little irony. She went back to the U.S., and she, I guess, became a little bit better reporter, prestige-wise. I guess she got her own news show. So she's moving up professionally. And one of her guests was Ian, the guy who she had made love to and who had betrayed her and whom she rescued back in Afghanistan, was writing a book. And she was interviewing him on her new news program. And I guess he asked her to have a cup of coffee with him sometime, and she didn't answer him. So she had...
I like it in this movie. Yeah, there was a small subplot. Do you remember with a soldier who lost legs because of her? She thought.
Yeah.
It was a good one. So she went there and said, you can tell me whatever you want. I'm here to take the blame,
Yeah.
And and he was a good, nice guy, right? He said it's not about you, right? It's about the life itself. So just, forgive her. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I do remember what happened. She confessed to her that she didn't have his weapon loaded. So he was scared that he should, and that they changed his destination or something, and then he stepped over a personal mine, and got his both legs amputated. But I like him very much. He's like Coughlin. I think it was especially Coughlin.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He said, okay, that doesn't mean anything because, many things happen if Russia didn't invade Afghanistan, it's a chain of events.
Yeah.
It's like life. You cannot say if you didn't do something, it could have been worse. Maybe he would have been killed.
He was a nice guy, no doubt, but as a soldier, he was a failure. Because he didn't even keep his weapon loaded. And when the military found out that, they sent him into battle. And he got his legs blown off. So it kind of was her fault in my mind. She shouldn't have reported. This soldier doesn't even keep a bullet in his gun. She shouldn't have reported that. She should have realized the military, when they saw that news, would not like that. So she was, again, selfish, I think. She was reporting news that she shouldn't have reported. She didn't think about the consequences.
Yeah, consequences is a very important topic, I think. I think that, why I say that this movie is so, in my opinion, because it could be a good movie, but they made it very mild, do not to offend anyone, to be, between the lines. And so, but it's true that this reporter, it can change lives of many people, by showing something, by, do you remember, Sergey, do you remember this wells of water and women who blown them? Do you remember in the villages? So American army always had to repair all these wells, right? Do you remember this plot? So it was a good one, right? So she actually changed lives.
Yeah, Layla, you might enjoy this, Layla. There's this one small town, and it has a water well, right?
Yeah.
And the well keeps getting blown up. Every time the military fixes it, the next day it gets blown up again. So they keep fixing it, blown up, fixing it, blown up. So finally, the reporter woman meets one of the women in the village, says, follow me, right? So she follows the woman into a private room, a private home, and all the women are there, and they're all wearing burkas, right?
Yep.
So once they're all alone, all women, they all raise off their burkas and they talk to her. And they tell her the reason the well keeps getting destroyed every time they fix it is because they are doing it themselves. They are blowing up the well themselves. And she said, why are you blowing up the well? She says, if we have the well, we can't leave the village. So we blow up the well so we're allowed to go outside and walk down to the river and get water from the river. It's the only time we can go outside.
Wow.
And to talk each other.
And to talk to each other and just be free. So going down to the river was their only joy in life. And when the well was working, they couldn't go down to the river to get water to bring back to the village. So they kept sabotaging their own well. So when the reporter told the general this, he said, well, thank you for telling me. We're going to stop fixing this well because it's wasting our time, And that was kind of cute.
Another moment we haven't talked about, is that Tanya wanted to have a meeting with some terrorists, and the Americans were after the terrorists, And after this meeting, everything goes south, and Nick was killed, and another guy was injured, and and then Kim, told her, okay, why did you do that? And then Tanya told her that what happened with the soldier with the legs amputated. So all the journalists do the same. They are selfish. They don't think about the consequences of their news. They just want to, get popularity. And
yeah, exactly. So they, how we can say, they walk on the heads of persons, right? So they kind of sacrifice other persons, for own good.
I think Nick got killed in that attack,
yes,
right?
Nick was killed.
Yeah.
Sergey, please.
Yeah, and I like the moment when the reporter meet Afghanistan women, because I can't imagine how it's important for Afghanistan women the place for meeting.
Yeah.
It's, I think if you have to meet, please meet. But in Russia, in the US, in Europe, the work us. But in Afghanistan, in Pakistan, in Iran, and other similar country,
yes, they tend to isolate women, right? You are my property. Sit at home. I will tell you what to do. Yeah, it's unimaginable.
Last year, I visited Tajikistan. Tajikistan is a small country near Afghanistan. They have one border, and I meet some people who make a nationality like Afghanistan. So other people. And it's abnormal for me, because I meet some men who describe the story and tradition about women. And one man told me, please taste this bread. What is the bread? Yesterday, I sent my small daughter to the other guy, and we will have the marriage. And now he informed me, now we have the good options for our ladies. Our children and our daughter can see the photos, the future husband. Yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Yeah, let's not go there in this dark topic, right? But you are right that Tajikistan and Afghanistan, they not only have the common border, but they kind of mixed. So half of the Afghanistan they speak Tajiki, and half of Tajikistan they speak Afghani. So it's kind of a random border between the same nation. And actually, Tajikistan was the reason when Soviets attacked Afghanistan, because before this, Afghanistan attacked Tajikistan like every day. Okay, let's go to the pictures. I don't know what should we discuss about the movie more, but time is fast. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Ivan? What is the moral of the story film?
Good question. What is the moral? Sergey, do you know?
Yes, and I wanted to add about the moral. Remember the moment when a reporter returned to the US, and she talked with her new boss, and she explains that we have to send more information about Afghanistan, and the new boss talk is stop. Nobody know about Afghanistan. Afghanistan is not interesting. Yeah. Afghanistan is not interesting for us. Please make something more interesting for us.
No one in America, we don't care about Afghanistan at all. We don't care. We just don't care,
Yeah.
Actually, it's a reason. I heard this many times by my own ears from people from small countries. Sometimes bad things happens, right? And they say, if something happens, let's say in Morocco, and 5,000 people died, you cannot find this in the news. Nobody cares. If one people in London got injured, all the news will be about this.
Yeah.
So it's how works this world, right?
Yeah.
Well, speaking seriously, I don't know what is moral, what is the moral of this movie, but for myself, I actually like the idea that you can kind of change yourself quickly, right? Leaving your comfort zone to the
Yeah.
best or to the worst, it's debatable, right? But if you stay in one place, in one position for a long time in your comfort zone, you're the same person, right? You're not developing. But by changing comfort zone, it happens like in a click, right? In no time. So that's moral I got.
Yeah, I would say.
Mhm.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You know, teacher, I said I agree.
To me, the moral is, as you said, Yvonne, you need to leave your comfort zone. In her case, she did, and she did it well. But to me, it made her a worse person, a better reporter, but a worse person.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you leave your comfort zone, you've got two alternatives. Either you have become a good or a bad person.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. It will change your life. Good or bad, we don't know, but it will change your life. Yeah.
Okay, let's see on this picture. So I can see whiskey, definitely. So because it's written here, I can see Foxtrot. I'm not sure that it's Tango, right? So I can see Tango. Yeah. It's kind of a dance from Argentina. Foxtrot. It's kind of more tricky, right?
Well, the bottom is a horse. It's the horse trotting. I can't believe you couldn't find a running fox.
Yeah, fine. But I think that Foxtrot is just another dance. It's very popular.
Correct. That's another dance. Yeah.
Okay. Foxtrot. Okay, let's.
But I don't understand the title of the movie, though. Why is it titled, WTF?
I think it's kind of depicts her impression of this Kabul bubble, what they say, right? So she just did not expect everything what happened. She thought, it's just another America, but with a shooting or something. But you're right, it's not really explained, right? It's not really motivated, this title.
Yeah, one thing that was interesting, Layla, is they were in Kabul.
Yeah.
So they called that environment in Kabul, they called it the kabubble, because it wasn't, they weren't living in the real world. They were living in a secluded environment, a secluded society, doing their own thing separate from everybody else. So they were living in the kabubble.
Kabubble, okay.
And she said, I got to leave and go back to America. Otherwise, I'm going to think the kabubble is real life. And it's not. Yeah.
And I can see many bubbles like this. Like people tend to live in the bubbles, right? We find people that we like. We kind of throw away people that we don't like. We make bubbles, and we are comfortable, right?
We say that liberals in America live in bubbles.
Yeah, well, I have many examples of bubbles, right? So let's say, sometimes I used to live in places where live, let's say, retired people, right? People after retirement, and they live in their own bubble. For them, the world is still like 30 years ago. They don't know any news and any new technologies. It does not exist. Yeah, it's interesting. So how can it be, right? Okay, let me start. So this is a cubicle, right? Her working place, somewhere in news agency or TV agency. And we can see a few monitors on the wall. Probably it's what is on air, I guess, on these TV stations. And her cubicle, it's pretty kind of organized and nice. But as far as I understand, what bothers her that she is in this cubicle for so long, right? So nothing happens in her life. I can see some paper folders on the right. I can see some Technic, right? Monitors, desktop lamp. I think it's kind of a schedule on the wall on her kind of cubicle
calendar
wall.
Is that a calendar?
Calendar, yeah. Calendar, I think. Yeah. And a photo of her and her boyfriend. He's here. Yeah, but still it's well organized. So my working desk usually works much worse. Usually looks much worse.
In my nuclear industry, I had a better cubicle than she's got.
Wow.
I had 4 walls. I had a little privacy. She's only got 2 walls. She's got no privacy.
And nowadays, teacher Lee, all these cubicles are obsolete, right? So we have open space now. So you have only your desk and you have to hear what your colleagues are talking all the time.
Terrible.
But thanks COVID, right? Thanks COVID, we are all now working from home.
Yeah. Oh, what a mess. What a mess.
Okay. And just for a change, right? Leila, would you please describe this picture?
First of all, I wouldn't like to be there. Everywhere it is full of dust and dirt, and I didn't like the way they just present their products. I think it's a kind of open street bazaar. And Ivan, I mean, even the colored, what you call umbrellas, I mean, I didn't want to be there. No way. And I don't know what they are selling. I'm not sure, but people are buying something.
Well, they have no shops. They have no supermarkets or something. So that is the shop in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
And speaking about this dust, many people call Afghanistan is a country of dust because they have harsh sun, kind of, and this soil, I don't know how it's called, clay probably. So it's always dust here, always.
Okay, could be
Some
because
people
of
say,
the wind.
Yeah, I knew a few Russian soldiers who were there during the war, and they say to sleep here in Afghanistan, I need to cover my face with some kind of clothes or something, just not to to be entirely in dust at the morning. So
they can't take breath easily, it means, right? Because of dust. Okay, Ivan, what are the things that on the right? Just in front of the middle-aged guy.
I think that's a pump. It looks like water coming out. It might be a pump.
Exactly. It's a pump and the well, yeah.
Could
Something
be,
like
right.
that. Yeah. That's their bottled water.
And I can say that it's a very beautiful Afghanistan street because we have trees here, so it's well developed and it's probably the best one.
Yeah, all the trees are like 1 or 2 years old. They're all young. Nothing lasts very long. Yeah.
It's renovated and we can see a big house here. Traditionally Afghani people, they live kind of in a house. So it's kind of a house, and their house is made of clay. So this one is pretty modern and probably the center of the city, the best part of the city.
There is the mountain behind the houses. And
mountainous area.
Usually what we call the kind of drums, right? Plastic drums, we call them.
You mean
the left? On the left.
The containers?
Container bar, I don't know.
Normally we call them gasoline containers because we usually put gasoline in those. They have a carrying handle.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would call them, gasoline containers.
Yeah, I'm surprised there are no donkeys on this picture.
Yeah, no animals, no dogs, no cats, no animals at all. Probably ate them all.
Yeah, this wooden car, look on this. This wooden car is definitely for a donkey. So because of this, this is not a donkey. Strange, yeah.
Terrible.
Okay, Tanya and her colleagues, let's do something else. Yeah. Sergey, what is wrong with the yellow backpack?
Because this is yellow backpack, I can see in the so far, and I can kill her because she's yellow, and she had to cover this yellow backpack, the tapes,
the duct tape.
Color.
Duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, the military doesn't want anything to be bright and visible. It makes you a target.
Yep.
On the other hand, this backpack looks funny for me because in the shop assistant in the shop in New York told me it will be good for you because
it's military style, right?
Yeah, it's stylish.
Military style.
We call that visible orange, because nature doesn't have a lot of orange color. So our road cones that mark danger on the road, our road cones are orange, our warning signs are orange. Workers on the highway wear orange clothes, so they're visible to drivers. So we use visible orange as a safety color to make sure people can see it. The Army doesn't want to be that way. The Army doesn't want you to be able to see them quickly and easily. So he said, no orange stuff here.
Wow.
And I think this is a good idea for tourists to have an orange on their backpack, because if you get lost, they can find you easily.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I remember the stupid story, you know, in Russia, we hike a lot, we do some kind of traveling, camping, it's normal, we kind of part of our culture. And one point, all the people, they like it, you know, military style clothes for this hiking with camouflage or something. And when you lost, it's impossible to find you in these clothes. So they start to teach people, you know, so you are not a warrior, you're not a soldier, you're a tourist, so get something right, you know, get something yellow, red, you know, something that we can see.
Yeah, from an airplane, you can spot orange on the ground pretty easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you get lost. Yeah.
Okay, Sergey, we did not let you tell something about this picture. So what about this one? Can you find something interesting?
Yeah, there's this Afghanistan village, and we can see some clay houses. And in the center of this photo, we can see oil or bread. I forgot the name.
You mean this jar, this big kind of barrel, right? Yeah, it's for oil, I guess. You're right.
Yeah, and they put some fire inside, and after that, they removed coil, and they put bread for baking, and a lot of usual Afghanistan people, and as you can see, the usual dress, gilets and headwear, and I thought
Scarf, right?
wardrobe.
Yeah.
And bears. I didn't see in this movie in there Afghanistan and other Muslim people without breads.
Bird, you mean, right? Without, yeah. Well, it's because it's written in Quran, Sergey. It's written in Quran that you cannot cut your bird. So I don't know why. Don't ask me, but it's written here, and it's a law for Islam people.
When they wrap a towel around their head, we call that a turban.
Turban, right?
Turban.
So
Is it for women and men, TLee?
Women don't wear this. A turban is not a hijab. A woman wears a hijab, like a scarf.
Okay.
But a turban is like a big pile of towel up on top of the head.
Okay.
We call that a turban. Only men wear turbans.
Yeah. And we can see Layla's 3 women in this picture. They're in blue.
Burkas.
In hijab, right.
Yeah, blue burkas.
Burkas.
The color was nice. I like the blue color.
Yeah, I don't. Probably it's written somewhere why it must be blue, but I don't know. Gerard, do you remember this scene?
Yes. The scam guy that he had, the ex broken, and she gave him $100, which is a fortune in Afghanistan.
Man, yeah.
It's like 1,000 here.
Damn. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
the
probably
guy,
he can buy a house now.
yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of money. I think most people, most strangers know that this is a scam, and or at least they know that $100 is too much to give to one person.
Yeah. 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 Give him $1, he'd be ecstatic.
Yes.
Yeah, but what to do? You know, sometimes, sometimes when I travel, I see some kind of beggars, right? And young beggars, and I don't know what to do always. So I don't know, should I give them something or should I not? Or is it a scam? And sometimes they need, you know, $1 can change their, you know, day or something. Yeah, usually a big question for me.
We have a lot of charities over here, advertisements, charity advertisements. Give $1 a day and you can feed a whole family.
Yeah.
But I don't trust that $1 to get to that family. I don't trust it. You know. Yeah.
Well, when I was in Morocco, so I had this guy from our chat, Faisal. He was kind of my guide, and he always gave them money. And I asked him, what if they kind of scam us? What if they cheat you? And he said, it's on their side. So I do what I should do. they do what they should do. So I don't think are they scammers or not.
Wow.
Good attitude.
Yeah, it's one of the rules of Islam. You have to give one percentage of your money to beggars, you know. Charity.
Okay.
You have to give some charity.
Okay. Leila, this is scene when it was a it kind of was a public event, right? I forgot the name for this. They killed a TV.
Executed a TV, yeah.
Executed the TV. Yeah. And she went here to make a photo, and it was very stupid and dangerous, but actually they survived.
Yeah, it seems like, Leila, these people are against Western technology. They hung a TV in the air and they pulled out a gun and they shot it and they all cheered. Yay! So they killed a TV and they were celebrating.
I don't understand these people anyway.
Yeah, but actually, it's not an invention of these people. It's what Taliban say. So Taliban says that we can use only technology that existed when our prophet existed. So, you know, you can use donkey, but you cannot use a car.
They use weapons, rifles.
Yeah, that's a little hypocritical. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's let's call it a day for today. A little bit early, but there are no slides anymore. Thank you very much for this movie. You know, actually, if you are interested about war correspondence, and I think there are some good movies about this, because
thank you, Ivan. Thank you.
But you are not interested, right?
No. I prefer
some kind of sarcasm or something like this.
Some romance, please.
No, you know me, Gerard, as your friend. I don't like romance.
Okay, we will find something, right? So in our chat. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you,